G'day, Jay. How are you, mate?
G'day, mate. How you going? What's happened? Been
Oh,
well?
we have been well. We have been well. Just thanks for doing this. As a bit of we're going to talk about how you sort of found me because basically, I think I put a free kind of offer out. This is
You
years
did.
ago.
You did,
Yeah,
mate.
about grabbing a few blokes and completely transforming their life and doing something very strange, like very very different to what
It
normal
is.
coaching. It wasn't your masculine rah rah kind of
No, not at all.
It's very very different um yeah, so this is a bit of so people can actually understand what I actually do and get a bit of a first hand experience rather than me talk about it, understand how it does impact you and what the difference is and why it is so groundbreaking and changing and quick and efficient and why it's different to every other method out there. Um, and the impact it has. So tell us a bit about before you sort of jumped on and actually, took up the offer because you had to jump through a few hoops
Yeah,
to work with me. Where
that's
were
right.
you at? What was life like at that stage?
I guess life was, any type of normal. You're going to work, you're trying to get the best out of yourself, all those kind of things. And you think you're doing a lot for yourself. Like, I was teaching, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get along and, got books and trying to write a book and all those things. But you're missing that element. And he still had that. I guess I go back to say now I can see myself outside of that. Like you're looking at two people,
Yeah.
and I can see that now wasn't happy with a lot of things. I was always looking for something, and now I can recognize now without recognize now being out of it
Yeah.
that I was totally not happy with things. I was rushing. It was now cortisol addiction, mate. And these are things that I've learned on the way, but I'm
Yeah.
using them now because I understand them. But if you look at the mental state that I was in, I wasn't settled. I was always on that looking for something better. I was always looking not to better myself, but how
Yeah.
can I be liked?
Yeah.
Also, you think you're doing something, you're always looking behind you. Everything's a rush. Always trying to prove yourself to people. I've had that career with the wrestling and all those kind. I did some good things, but was I doing anything for me? I don't. I think at that time I was starting to realize that I started to get the panic attacks back, which I had back in
Yeah.
when I was a kid, through about 18. Missed them for about 20 odd years, and it slowly started creeping back about, I'd say, 218 or so.
Yeah.
When whatever. I'm not sure what ticked it off, but it did
Yeah.
come back.
And you,
Uh,
you come through a pretty bad relationship too at one stage as well.
yeah, many married relationships, my friend. Obviously I had a marriage that was just like, it was just stupid. It was just like, it was acceptance. It really was. Like I say, and you can't blame anyone but yourself. Now that I look at it, because I turn the mirror now just to explain to the thing. Everything's a lesson now for me. And
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was just trying to prove something to someone else. Then you go, oh, you
Yeah.
can go and get married, do this. And it was just shit. Sorry,
Yeah.
I hope I could swear a little
I
bit.
go swear, that's fine.
That's all.
Yeah.
I won't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually curbed it a little bit. I use it better now. But yeah, and then you're getting into relationships to make yourself feel better. And were you looking for a stereotype? Were you trying to prove yourself to parents? All those kind of things, my friend.
Yeah. And what's it like trying to get up every single day under that stress, the cortisol, the adrenaline, the lack of sleep, the identity issues about not thinking you're not the best, or you're trying to look for these knee jerk things all over the place to try and fix something. What's it like trying to, navigate through that on a daily basis and try and, be a teacher to kids and stuff like that?
The good thing was the teaching was fantastic because it actually got me out because I was actually focused on what I was doing. And it's actually funny enough, it's what I'm doing now anyway.
Yeah.
So that psyche, if you want to go a little bit more high level thinking, the
Yeah.
psyche of doing it, I got out of myself, and I was a teacher and I've always had a hard work ethic, as you know.
Yeah.
So I did that. But I guess, you don't really realize what effect everything happens. Your mind, what you feed your mind, how you speak, the effect of talking to people, those boundaries you weren't taught, the people you hang around, the energy. We can talk spiritual if you want to go that far. Talk about energy and balance and frequency. But it was just absolutely like your heart's going down. And you're moving at 100 miles an hour to try and think you're going to miss out. And those bad boundaries, or sorry, those subconscious programs that I found out, that we found out, were really prominent with what I was doing. And I mean, someone was watching me. I don't know, it was my auntie's always watching me. My mum's sister, she was always looking after me when I was. I reckon her and my mum's brother were watching me. I don't know how I did it, mate. To be honest with you.
So what sort of, because I am different, right? I'm not your standard, coach. There's a very big spiritual aspect to it. I don't like labels. I don't like, projecting all about accountability, ownership, and throwing in a very much, nature of realities and medic principles. You've a lot of, really, what we call woo-woo these days, kind of stuff. So what sort of made your decision to go down this path? Because, for a guy, not many guys women do this quite a fair bit because it's more the intuition and self-awareness, but, it must be pretty courageous to sit there and go, I'm going to take a punt on this. I don't know who this guy is. So why did you actually what was it about going, I'm going to try this, that you sort of decided to let's go and have a crack with Greg?
Well, I have to credit my friend Deirdre James. She's my Reiki master. And I've done my therapy, personal training, all those, massage for 28 years. So I have worked with the human body and studied Chinese medicine and all that stuff. That means shit when your head's not right. So
correct.
Deirdre was going, and she's the actual one said, I know this guy, Greg Riley. I knew about you from the one. I knew about you. And she goes, you got to apply and just put your story forward. And I'm one I'm always wanting to grow. I don't think it was much of a hard decision. I just really wanted to do it. I guess just, this looks good. This really does look like the way to go. And it's like when I did massage, I was doing fitness training. I was being a fitness personal trainer, ended up doing a massage course, ended up teaching massage and writing books and stuff. So it's one of those things where you're guided, my friend. So I have to give her massive credit. And and again, I always thank you every day that you chose me and I'm here talking about it. So
pleasure,
very,
mate.
very grateful, my friend. Thank you so much.
So what were some of the challenges you sort of come across when you first, because it's pretty confronting, right? Because you basically say that, the first thing people come in and say, well, where's the steps, where's the process? And it's like, all right, okay. No, and there was a lot of shadow work there because a lot of the stuff I do is help you deal with, actually go to places you don't want to go to. Go to the places you're trying to avoid. Go to the places that are really impacting you, not the surface level stuff, not the stuff you present with. Go to those places that are really, really deep within inside you. And I think it's not your private life, it's your secret life, the place that only you know and that you keep very close to your chest. What was it like to go down that path and, really do that, what we call, shadow work in some, better terminology for it. But what was it like sort of going there?
The word that's been bastardized, I know. Anyway, we'll go to that one. Look, at the end of the day, I think, Greg, what happened was I felt I'm one to trust a lot, right? So I'm a people pleaser. I was trusting. So that was for me, that was an advantage. So it was kryptonite. There was an advantage. And I think that I thought I was doing everything. So I had no fucking idea. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I was open. I knew about all this personal development stuff. I've done all that stuff. But did I really open the forbidden door? Yeah. Did I even want to go close to there's a couple of forbidden doors which you taught me and which I'm teaching others now.
Yeah.
The first step was to do that. And the thing was to commit because I knew where I was. And I think you provided the safest space for me. I just knew straight away.
Yeah.
Right with you. And I sat down and I just gone, no, I'm going to give this 100. And you saw my commitment with what I did. And I've got all the books to bloody prove it, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Mate, I want a proof, bro. But I think you provided a safe environment and you just basically said, right, if you're going to do this, don't bullshit. Just let's really go. But I think the way you come across is really genuine. And I think that people, and I get that a lot myself, my friend. I get a lot of people who open up to me even now. We'll talk about that later. People it's amazing that your vibration and frequency can attract certain people, and but I think that's the main thing that you gave me, and you basically and I've just gone, right, it's like being a learner, and I've always been a learner, which is good, but you gave me that safe space to go for it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know where I was going to go, but I've worked on this. Bullshit, mate. I didn't work on shit till I met you. Let's be honest.
So tell us, because you've done other stuff, like you said, you've done heaps of personal development before. What was different about this? Because you are an avid, educator. You're an avid learner. You've been down it. You're real intuitive about this, and you're an explorer. what was the real difference between the other personal development methods and what this was all about?
Well, I think personally, Greg, that number one was the safe. I just felt safe with you.
Yep.
I think that's what the main thing is, your vibe, the way you came across. You was no bullshit. You didn't try to sell me anything for starters. You go, right, this is the course, let's do it. And I've gone, okay, rightio. And you've got two choices, ladies and gentlemen. You can either do it or you don't.
Yep.
Right? And that is it. So you give the guy a go or you don't. And basically I said, I've got nothing to bloody lose here. You know, I don't know what the hell's going on. There's been so many different, and it's taken me on this bloody journey, Greg, but that's what he's off. That's what Greg offers. Sorry, I'm trying to.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's what
you did have a lot to lose. Like you said before, you didn't have a lot to lose, but you had a lot. You had so much to lose.
I did. I mean, I could have gone up and gone. I could have done this bloody thing, and been a bloody victim, people pleaser, whatever you want to put it, and gone, oh, I'm getting fuck all out of it. But the thing is, what you got to do is, I actually thought, I don't know how I did, but I just think your safety in the way you come across. You're not a bullshit artist, right? You don't talk crap. You talk from the heart. You talk from what you believe in and the way you express yourself. I just felt very comfortable to go on this journey. I didn't know where the freaking heck it was going. And we'll go into that very soon. But I just basically said, rightio. And I think the other ones didn't really give me that safety. I was learning a lot about it. I mean, there's a lot of learning. You know, you talk about listening to Wayne Dyer or Eckhart Tolle or Dr. Joe Dispenza or one of those ones. That's great. But again, you taught it. You have the big thing, which I'll go into, is teaching about the mind, where your subconscious programming is. Oh yeah, that's great. Yep. But I didn't have any guidance, my friend, and that's what I think. And again, to my detriment was the people pleasing. But then the goal came, and that was you, mate. So I did trust in what we were doing. And also, Deirdre said, "Mate, you got to give this thing a go. You're on that path. You've done your rake tree. La da 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 da. This has come up for a reason."
So where would you be without it?
Mate, I'll be honest with you, Greg. When I went through the pseudo stroke that I had, which was basically, I was that mentally gone that I came up with the symptoms of a stroke, and I was laying down on a road, car parked in a ditch, and people got me to a hospital. Okay, now, not understanding and not letting go. For me, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'm looking at what I'm doing now. I'd be still living a life. I'd probably be sick as a dog. All right. I wouldn't be where I am mentally and attracting these same things. I'm attracting the things that I am in my life. I think actually getting in touch with yourself. And the big thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is trust. And I know it's the biggest gift that you can give somebody. And I always say that on my podcast, A Chat with Jay, Remove the Mask, Write the Story. There you go. Start promoting. So,
we'll give it a plug, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I think what it was, ladies and gentlemen, was basically I did have nothing to lose. And I wanted to learn. I wanted to get out, but I didn't know where it was going, because I know I had those panic attacks and I wasn't balanced. If I want to call it just I wasn't balanced right.
Yeah.
And look, I don't think I'd be where I was. I think I'd be still having panic attacks. I'd still be sick, angry, not motivated to do it, being a bloody people pleaser and attracting the wrong people in my life, my friend.
What kind of father would you have been?
Still would have been a great father. That's one thing that saved me. My daughter saved me, because I don't know where, but I am a better father now. I rate myself as a dad. I don't give a shit. I brought up a bloody great kid. She saved. She kept me balanced, and with all three, she supports me with everything. Doesn't matter if I'm, whatever I'm doing, wrestling, pro wrestling, jumping around, bloody as the Aussie Blackie Lawless, all those things. I think being a better sorry, mate.
Look at her now, right? Look how proud she is of you, of who you are, because of what you did. And that's going to take a bit, right? Because this is quite emotional, right? Is that here she is, she's got one version of her dad that is not in a good place.
Can I just cut in there 1 minute? Can I cut in 1 minute? Sorry to interrupt there, Greg. When I had a couple of panic attacks, what got me also is she had to call the ambulance twice. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
For me passing out and heart issues. So I'll leave it at that. That just sums it up.
And now she gets to experience what?
Mate, the joy, she comes out to my gigs, mate, and the best thing for me is she trusts me with everything because she knows, she's always had a close bond with me. She's always looked up because she knows that I sacrificed, and a lot of people do. As we do, this is my life. I'm talking about me, not anyone else. Okay, there you go. Sorry to be blunt, but this is the way it is. Sometimes you have to do this.
Okay.
But I sacrificed what I had to do to make sure she was right. She had food. She had, taekwondo, gymnastics, all that. I went to uni, all that. She knew she saw what I did for 15 years, and she's turned into a beautiful individual. Beautiful girl now. She's doing what she's doing now and going to uni.
By you doing what you're doing, you set her free because she doesn't worry about you anymore. She doesn't have to worry about calling an ambulance. She doesn't have to worry about, it's like she's such a happier kid now exactly because of what you did as well.
Well, she tells, little bugger rings me up and goes, I'm going to Morocco, Dad. And then but the thing is, what she did, she rings me up and she goes, I know you won't say. I go, listen, you know what to do. You got to ring me every day. No, I don't mind. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Yep. But this is the thing with being a happy parent, which whether it's divorced or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If you are happy within yourself, you can give so much more to that child and break those cycles of insecurity and all those kind of things as best you can. So doing that work, it's not, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right, this man not put me through hell, but he guided me through the flames of hell down there. And if you're willing to walk, like I've already walked a few people through myself, if you're willing to walk there, there is a golden garden afterwards. And, that's what I'm a motivational coach and I'm doing the same thing. I'm the hype man. I'm a mad village people, man. YMCA, Trump, you can go from there. But using that energy to help others. So, so I had to get that in.
And look, mate, that's, you should be really proud of that because what you said there is really important is that what I teach you is not about, as I was saying to a client the other day, is that I'm not about, telling you something. I'm about teaching you a way of life. And you said something really important there is that you're teaching your daughter so then she can take it on as well too, right? So it's this pay it forward part where this is more than just affecting you. You're now then teaching this to other people. Like you said, you're now a motivational coach as well because you've seen the benefit of it. And it's this expression going forward because it's not that you're learning a modality, you're learning a way of being and a way of life.
Exactly. It's a case of the bat belt of gifts, as I call it, that I got from you, Greg. I mean, I've had the DDP yoga. I'm first, I've been a progressive person to find something, but these things were given to me as part of what I'm finishing right now. But the gifts you gave me, even simply to take control of your energy, understand where you're at, but really go deep in what happened. I'll give you a quick example, ladies and gentlemen. I was in the Hurricane Beryl back last year in July, and I had a regression back to my childhood because I got stuck in Houston for 3 days. All right, 275-kilometer winds and 7-story bloody tornadoes. Right, knocked the whole of Houston out. So I had time. I called for a sweat lodge. I got it. So I went in and I basically went and regressed, and I was talking to me, myself, my soul, and my inner child. And some of the teachings that you taught me, and I remember standing at the window, and I just said, and my old self came up and it said, "You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be at home. You're supposed to be safe." I sat there, took a deep breath, and I know this is what Greg taught me. Greg taught me to sit down. Let's talk it out. So actually, the first time people are talking their inner child, you put yourself into that situation where you have no choice but to talk to yourself. And that's what and I know the skills that you helped me with my subconscious mind, what you teach me to fed Michael McNair as well. I have to give him some credit too, because he said to me, what you feed your mind, man, watch yourself. You know what I mean? I'll give you a bit of an example later, but I sat there for 3 days at night. We had to be locked in. We were locked in these rooms.
Yep.
We couldn't get out because of whatever's happening out there, safety. Yep. And you had 9 hours to talk to yourself. And, mate, it was a couple of days from my life. And we regressed about what you taught us in the Shadow Warrior course.
Yeah. The thing is that it's more about, I think what you learn is self-awareness. And self-awareness in itself is can be misinterpreted, right? Because a lot of people analyze self-awareness. They go and they call it self-awareness, but it's analytics, right? What we actually teach you to do is self-awareness, deep introspection, but using intuition to get there, because intuition is not about your head. Your intuition is about your heart. And that's what something you had to learn, Jay, is to get to the point where you had to learn to trust your intuition, to ask the right questions, to go deep, because your mind will con you, because your mind is where the problem lies, right? And that'll tell you one thing.
I'll give you an example for that. No, this is a perfect example, ladies and gentlemen. Clickbait this one. I've always had issues with, oh my God, I'm doing something, and then something would happen, right? Whether you can't open the door, or the car won't start, or something. When you want to do something, you go, oh, for God's sake, what's going on? Outside, I was doing the course. I was bloody right into it. I think it was about the 5th week in. We were doing our hero stories. I was bloody excited. I was getting some nice results. Then I'm sitting there and the bloody internet went. I'm swearing my guts out. This is how safe I was with Greg. I didn't know this guy from about 5. This is how safe he may be. I'm going, for sake, mate, And then Greg said to me was, okay, what are you angry about? So what he did was he took my anger and going, okay, why are you angry? And we went into it talking about, bloody hell, the internet always goes when I want to do something. Okay, let's go deeper. And we looked at some issues that I had when I was a kid. Okay, always missing out. Always got to go, right, go to a birthday party. Then you go, no, you're not going anymore. All right, and that's why you're sort of hypo about trying to get to somewhere, mate. Well, it's a good thing to be early, don't get me wrong. But there is a bit of thing. But that's what this man did. He recognized that it wasn't the internet. It wasn't. He looked at my frustration. And mate, he said it with the face he's got now. He said it be straight out, and that was a massive turnaround in my life, I must say.
Yeah, because quite often you see that people try and fix the preceding problem, what's on the surface level, right? And they will try and go, okay, this is a problem. We need to fix that by taking this action. And, the art form is to go, well, that's not really the problem. And, somewhere deeper inside of you, actually, you reacted because of something, not because of, the internet went down or someone's cut you off, right? There's a deeper sense of an identity there that, you needed to shift from. But how easy was it? Like I think it was about 8 weeks we spent together.
8 weeks,
but it went longer than that. I think it went about 12 months where we just love catching up with everybody, right? So,
and that's the other thing I want to say, ladies and gentlemen. This man here has always been front and center if you never need him. So that is something I never had. So there you go. Just have to throw that in. Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, but it was basically within about 8 weeks you got a massive transformation in that short, and we're only catching up on a weekly basis, right? It wasn't it wasn't really, really intense, but it was rather straightforward, rather simple. Trying to get you to understand the nature of your reality, the nature of your thoughts, the nature of your identity, what you believe, and the illusion of the ego, which is based in, thoughts, which you've made up, right? And that was something that you struggled with for a while, but when it broke through, you could see that, bang, it clicked.
Absolutely. The big thing was the homework. And this is simple stuff, guys, journaling, expressing your emotions, writing out. I mean, I got my chat show, and a lady I had on yesterday, she said she had the best sleep she could. She had the best sleep the previous night because she expressed first time on the chat show about her life. And she said, I released. But again, Greg taught me safe space, working on yourself. So you've created that safe space. Yes, I've always had a safe space when I was younger, but it was coming from a people-pleasing bloody vacuum cleaner Hoover special that I couldn't be, I had all these insecurities. Still working on them, don't get me wrong. Well, no one's perfect, but if someone can come to you and you can work with them and they message you the next day and go, oh, it's such a powerful interview the previous night, you can't really go wrong with that. And that's a lot of the stuff that Greg's taught me. And it's all about the homework, guys. You've got to live it. They say when you go to uni, you want to be a teacher or whatever you want to do, you got to live it. Mate, if you're going to work on yourself, you've got to bloody live it.
And this is where, that part of what I say is that 95% of the actual change is the intention to change.
Correct.
Once you commit to it, you're 95% of the way there, right?
Yeah.
But it is what What were you afraid of when you started?
Oh, there's a lot. I think I was more afraid. I don't think I was afraid of the course because I didn't have a bloody clue where I was going to go. But I think that's true because I didn't know how deep this thing was going to go. But I think the big thing was, I was already afraid of what was happening because I had that drinking episode where, just to give a quick rundown, my mind was that fried. I'm watching Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue going, I'm going to get drunk. So if you've got a bad head and you're telling yourself you're going to get drunk, say you did, you go and drink a bottle of 95% bourbon, and then you get up in the morning thinking, what an absolute clown. We'll get in between, you're having these, you're passed out and all this stuff, and you just sit up in the morning and just go, God, did I dodge a bullet? You sort of really wake up and go, yeah, you work out exactly, you feed your body good stuff, why can't you feed your mind? So that was another thing. So yeah, scared. I guess the big point, I can't really say I was scared. I was just I guess excited and then sort of confused and sort of, I guess in a way of unknowingly scared in some ways. It wasn't a fear or anything, but just the unknown go, oh shit, this could happen,
Yeah. Oh my God, it is. There is that sense of, this is completely different than what I've done before. This is playing in the unknown, right? And
yes,
it does take a bit of courage to go there. But tell us about the journey over that, those few weeks that you took from start to finish.
Well, again, committed. So you told me, write your hero story, do some journaling, look at your moods, do some meditation, what's happening within your mind, understand, change things, like change. There's nothing wrong with listening to heavy metal music, but what kind of, where were you at when you're doing this? So I had to take, I basically just stripped the whole thing down. I just basically, here we go, Julius Sumner Miller, get rid of the milk. Don't put the egg in, but get rid of the milk, right? And then I just basically listen. You go, journal, write down what you want to be. You're changing your mood, changing your energy, okay, changing your programming. And then you have an awareness. And I think the hardest thing, I think, what I have to say is, because you've got these people in your life that are so-called friends and you're changing, and you're going to get rejected because you're a new person. Now I couldn't give it rat's ass. But back then, that's probably the one thing that you get scared, because you're doing this heebie-jeebie stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I found out I'm an introvert. I did a personality test. I found I'm an introvert. But that would be the scariest thing that came from it. But I was committed to it. I said, no, I wrote down a page of I ams, what I was, just to really reprogram and understand what I was doing. And have an awareness. I think if you just commit, I know it's hard with work and all that, but even just basic breathing, basic organization, and step back and have the support of your family and friends. That's what you need. But you really need the support of yourself.
Yeah. So who did you find in the end? Tell us about Jay, the man you found. Because when we started, there was Jay, the list of things that were there, right? And the journey was, because the reality is, what I do is it's a journey to find yourself. It's a journey to find the true self of you. And that's what we really do, is we're uncovering the true version of you. That when you find that and you live from that place, life's relatively comfortable and easy, and decisions and actions take care of themselves from there. Yeah. Who was Jay when you found him?
Oh, mate, it's an amazing person. I think the first time I actually loved myself. Yeah. Because I wasn't told to love myself. I hated everything. Yeah. Right. I was hiding behind characters, behind bloody Stefan Cool, the wrestler, and all this stuff, which was great. Wrestlers are great, but did I love myself? And I already knew that deep down, But then I started, doing podcasts with people who are like mine. I got friends overseas. I do Life Theories. Here's another plug. Life Theories live on Spotify. Yeah. We've got people who are like-minded, who are going through the same thing and understand. So you attract these new people. But the thing was, you find out exactly who you are, and you really fall in love with the person that you are, and you really become protective of who you are, I think. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Some of the stuff I've been doing, like, I come on podcasts. I got a book coming out, Journey of a White Feather, Remove the Mask, Write the Story. The awareness of what we're doing, the motivation and awareness that we're doing with people, understanding you get these new experiences that you come, but it all comes down to you settling yourself and taking the punt on yourself to change it. And as I said to you, I know for guys, it's hard, man. We've got families and all those kind of things. But the thing is, you need to do it for yourself. You need to stand up and just say, mate, I need to do this for me, eh? Yeah, this is where I need to go, and this is what I'm offering to whether it males and females. So I should say females, but because it was a male course, and it's not as I guess not as what's the word? Not as you usually don't see it as many times, but you do now. There's heaps out there. But you just got to commit to what you're doing. Just the person you do. It doesn't matter if it's me, Greg, or whoever, but obviously us too, because we're great. Pro wrestling coming out. But the safe space that you get within the person, I think it's the most important thing. And I wouldn't be changing a thing for now. I just can't believe I'm, got affirmation cards that I wrote.
Yeah.
Wrote these when I was in the hole, doing Steve Irwin impersonations overseas. It's just that real spiritual awakening, but you really hone in on yourself. So it's just a change.
Segue. What's it like? Because it's a great segue you've done there, because I want to sort of focus on, sometimes it's hard for men to actually, deal with the emotions and because we tend to suppress and stuff like that. And we tend to just, we're doers and fixers, and we're performance-based creatures, and we like to, that's the way we've been programmed. And then you've got the men's coaches out there who are very alpha male and all that kind of stuff. And I still don't work in that space. And I don't have any tattoos. I'm not, I don't have the, ripping six pack and stuff like that. But what's it like for a man to finally deal with his emotions and go on sort of a spiritual pilgrimage to find himself? Why is that different to other methods that are out there? A man really tapping into his spiritual side.
Well, number one, I try to dumb it down to saying finding yourself.
Yeah.
How do you find? Because some people are still scared of the word spirituality. Let's be honest, because it's been bloody taken through the ringer.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to be happier. I just use simple words, and I think the main thing is you have to look at what they're doing. I think the main thing for men is, what do you want out of life? I think we get lost in this, we're going to be emotional people. It's not about bloody emotion, mate. Fuck's sake. It drives you bloody mental. Okay? I think men understand men, which is number one. You can still understand your partner. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
Right? But women understand women, and men understand men. And I think what you got to do is not a case of, doing all this shit that they're saying. It's basically looking within you and who you need to be. What do you love? How can I become better? Why am I doing something? What happens if I change it? That's how I looked at it. What happens if I change this? What happens if I do this and do this instead of doing what I'm usually doing? How can I change that? It's not about being the bloody modern day bloody man or whatever. It's about yourself, and you can be the man and the leader that'll attract the person that you need to. And it's not getting in touch with emotions. I think that's a frigging crock of shit too, the way they put it. I think it's basically getting in touch and finding out what yourself, getting into a safe space and going, what is happening within you and what's happening within your mind? Do you need to be motivated, and you need to have some guidance into what's happening? All right, you don't have to sit there and cry all the bloody time like these. Anyway, you don't have to do all that. You can do that. But it's not essential. It's one of those things where let the things happen naturally. It's not a forced thing. If you don't cry, it's okay. If you have to write something, you got to have trust within yourself, and the people have to trust you're going in the right direction.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it anyway. So
So what kind of man do you become, and what kind of relationships do you have by tapping into your intuition and spiritual aspect as a man?
Number one would be the stoic, a very, very trusting and stoic person. I think we, as especially obviously males, for me, we come across as we are the big leader, protector, and we're very stoic. Now you're looking at Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, all those ones that give you basic ideas of how to actually run your life without, and not to say you're not going to express emotion, but how to actually become a leader and a man, and how to control your ego, because your ego can be put out of control. My mate says I'm still working on that, but that's very true.
We
But
all are.
we all are. But the main thing is stoicism and trust within yourself, and being a good individual and having a good heart and good energy. So if you can, and they always say, treat someone where you want to treat them, that's fine. You can. You don't have to put up with rubbish. You don't have, some people don't want to be taught. All right. But at the same time, make sure you protect yourself. But being a gentleman and being stoic, I think is number one. If you can do that, that's a really good start. And then obviously with your personality and how you are will come a bit later. You know, you'll start to develop your own personality, your own skills. But the main thing is, I think stoicism is a big thing in trusting and protecting yourself. Because then if you protect yourself, as males, you can see in the lions, what they do is they protect their pride. So that's what happens.
So what's it like being in an intimate relationship as a spiritual man? What's that like?
Very good, because you know yourself, you know where you are.
Yeah.
You know the kind of person that you are, and you have to, and the thing is, we talk about energy and frequency. I think that's a really big thing. Once you raise your vibration, raise your energy, raise your frequency, you attract the right person. And then the right person will come, and the right person will be someone that does understand you, and you'll understand them. Okay? We're all crazy in our own way, eh?
Yeah.
We're all out crazy. But if you can accept the person for who they are, and accept the person and they accept you, and just be honest about it. I don't think there's a lot of honesty, Greg. I think the big thing is we're not honest at the start of a relationship. It's very hard because of emotion, and people, oh yeah, he's hot, she's hot, let's go, that's back. Hey, that's great. No worries, go do your best, mate, you know?
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, if you've got to know yourself, and this is where you've got to really know yourself in the course that you did, you get to know yourself, you get to know your strengths, what you have to work on, you know? And it's not a case of, okay, we can do all the, and again, I use psychologists and all that, which were great. Don't get me wrong. They've got their place. But again, a coach can be there afterwards to go, right, what did you learn? What can we do here? And what can we look at another level?
Yeah.
And that's what Greg did for me, because I know I was saying both, and mine was bloody fantastic. And then when we did the course, I used to do a session in between what you did. But then when I came in, Greg would go, rightio. And he'd see a change, go, okay, so you and the way you talk, you don't have to be anyone but yourself, my friend. So I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, stoic and be yourself and trust yourself. If I wanted to go from there.
What's the we're gonna get weird now. What's the sex life as a guy who's really in touch with who he is and spiritual aspect and very much
pretty good. Yeah, all good.
It's different, isn't it? It's very different, isn't it?
It is very different. It is very different because, especially the people you attract, that's the big thing. I mean, I haven't, since I've come out, it's only been, I only been the one person, so the thing to say where I'm at is good. And it's a different energy. Again, it goes personal, ladies and gentlemen. It goes personal, goes back to, okay, you go from a people pleaser, you can take it from that, what I'm talking about, to someone who's sort of imbalanced there. It's a bit more imbalanced, and you're not trying to please. You're not trying to please everyone, if you get where I'm going.
Yeah.
More a mutual sort of thing, yeah. So, again, it's all about learning those lessons, those stoic lessons. You learn about, manners and all those basic things, manners, being a gentleman, all those kind of things. They're still relevant, but not as relevant these days. But people do see it, and you've got to stick to your guns with that. So you see how you go from there. And then that will bring your frequency and energy up, if you believe it, a bit heebie-jeebie, but frequency and energy, and you'll bring those people in, and then you'll bring your partner in, and then it's the amazing thing.
Yeah. And then you go to places that you've never experienced before in that space, right?
And you're still learning, Greg. You're still going, but you're still growing, yeah. So if you're willing to grow and know where you are, and you're content in yourself, okay, you might be contented right now, but really look into it and see how you go. But as I said, if you are looking for something, this is the man to go for, and he will help you go through those things in a very safe way.
You mentioned before it was quick and simple. like I didn't make it too complicated for you. Like there's a lot of courses out there where you got offer after offer after upsell after upsell after upsell versus video after video after video after video versus, I mean, I was in a course by a very well-known man's coach. I spent 3 hours a day in an app, looking through things, and it was exhausting doing everything. And I pride myself because most people are time poor. And what I enjoy about doing this is making it quick and easy and efficient for people to make profound change quickly. So, tell us about that for you, and that experience that made your change and transition so quick and easy.
The thing was, I think what I was doing, because as I said, everyone's different, but you're a learner. You've got to put the effort in, but also it was relevant. I mean, the internet experience straight up.
Yeah.
I went, oh, fuck the internet, mate. And then he just went bang. I know a couple of the other guys we were talking, and you went bang, bang, bang. Let's chat. Let's get it. We went to the heart of it. We cut the bullshit. All right? Cut the bullshit, mate. That's what it is. And when we needed to do something, you can guide. You can go, okay, I wouldn't mind watching Wayne Dyer again, watch The Shift again. Okay, what can I learn from it, starting to write, okay, I watch Cocktail. Okay, I've always said it's a spiritual movie for me. What am I learning from, Getting into that new headspace. But the headspace is Greg just goes, right, bang, 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 and that's it. Do it, and it's all practical. It's one-on-one, guys, not just reading a bloody app.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even have an app. What am I talking about? You gave us some work to do and bloody do it, mate.
It's on a Google Doc.
Well, that's it.
So what would you say to people that are sort of, on the fence or thinking about making a change? Because this is confronting, right? This is one, it's not cheap. It's confronting. It's not for everybody. But what would you say to people out there who are going, well, I've tried stuff, or I'm on the fence, or I really want to do something different, or I'm stressed out, or I know I've got a bigger purpose here. What would you say to people who are thinking, I'm not too sure? What would you say to people out there going, I'm looking for something, where do I go?
Well, I would say to people, go and see Greg Riley. He's fantastic, right? Which he is. He's been my mentor, and I was at that level. So you need just some simple advice, and I think that's what Greg does. And he's got watch some videos to start with, and if you get in it, like if I'm doing this for Greg now, so go and watch his videos, see what he's about. All right, and this is coming from this. This is no bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. You can ring me and freaking ask me again, and I'll tell you the same damn thing. Go and watch someone. Go and see what he's all about. Not just, see what the reviews are, but also when you start looking into these things, you go, okay, Greg's a self-help coach. What else do I need? So you start looking at the stuff that he recommends, which he's got on his 5 dimensions, if I'm correct, Greg. He writes letters, and it gets you thinking, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is. And then I would advise you to type in some words, personal development, those kind of meditations. Just write them in and have a look, see what comes up. And then, as I said, everything comes from what Greg was telling me. So he opened the door for me to have a bit of a look. It's like a kid in the candy store. Okay, where the hell do I go? Hey, all right, this could be scary. All right, hang on. I'm getting on a plane to go overseas. Hang on a minute. All you can do is step up and have a look and go, right, let's have a go and see what the go is. So let's look into this stuff. What do I need? Like you're looking at, stuff from, from the Stoic values, like Max Aurelius and all those ones. You're looking at, you change your tone. Instead of listening to music, sometimes you might go, okay, might have a listen to some Greg Riley today. That'd be good. Okay, and just be open to what he's saying. And then you go, hang on a minute. All right, yeah, I think I might have to have a crack at this. And also relate it back to what you're going through. Be honest with yourself. You have to be honest. Yeah. Do I want this shit anymore or not? Be honest. And if someone's not if anyone's not supporting you, do it for yourself, mate. You can't wait for Kingdom Come to come and take you, man. But again, Greg's got some great videos up. He shows you what he does, and once you type in that algorithm, because I've learned, then all the stuff decides to come. You might look at Victor Otto, Am Doherty, all those ones, but this is the man who will guide you to what's going on, and that's most important. So be investigative, guys. Don't be scared to have a look. And you know what? You don't have to tell your mates. I don't tell anyone anything, eh? They think I'm the bloody. They go, what the hell's this bloke doing now? I got mates who don't. I told them the other day I got a podcast. I've done 60-odd episodes. They go, what? You know, the secret identity. Yeah, well, you don't need to know everything. Just go about yourself. If there's anything you can do, it's like changing your diet and all those things. But what Greg offers is safety, knowledge, and no bullshit. If you're willing to put your trust in him, I would. But you, I'll tell you straight up, if you're not willing to do the work, he's not going to help you.
I think
that's all right to say, mate. Because I mean, it's
right.
Man, I did the work. Okay.
Yep. And you're the proof of the pudding that life turned completely around from where you were.
Absolutely. Do the work.
You mentioned before there. What it's come out now. It's a bit of a word for the 2025, right? You got stuff out there called monk mode, right? Which is a version of ghost mode, which was ghost mode. You basically took yourself off grid for 6 months and then you disappeared and you come back this new version, which is another word for a rite of passage, which has been around thousands and thousands and thousands of years with all the different tribes had what's called rites of passage, where a young boy or a young girl would go away and they would face some challenges and they would come back a different version and then they would interact to the society, which is the hero's journey, right? So the Joseph Campbell stuff, right?
That's right.
Whichever way you put it is very, very, very important to ghost mode yourself, right? Because it's like I said before, you don't have to have everyone on knowing what you're doing. You can do this I've done stuff here that nobody has known that I've done it, right?
That's right. I'm the same. I'm the same about the stuff I get up.
You don't have to go and shout from the hills, hey, I'm doing personal development, I'm doing a spiritual
ego, mate.
quest, right?
That's all ego.
It is, right?
Who gives a shit? That's all ego. I just do myself. But what I wanted to say is that you're exactly like ghost mode. I call it appreciating the time of silence.
Yeah.
People don't go into silence. You got to go into silence and want to go in, walking on a treadmill, breathing in the air, going and grounding yourself, being aware, getting some self-awareness. I mean, it's hard. You got kids, kids are, partner or all that. That's fine.
Yeah.
And it's bloody hard work. Don't get me wrong. There's probably people going to say to you, I don't have the support. Well, we'll leave it at that. But at the end of the day, you only got one life, guys.
Yeah.
And the most important thing in the world is breathing. Think about that.
Yeah.
So you've got two choices. And I recommend this guy so highly, but everywhere I go, Canada, America, I went to Japan, this is the man. I said, this is the man. This is one of the guys. I had Michael McNair and Deirdre James. This man here, he's the one who gave me the opportunity to find myself. I did the work. He'll say, you did the work. But he gave me opportunity. There you go. And he gave me the guide. That's what a mentor's about.
That's the point. It's not for me to actually do it for you. My job is to be your person in there with you, guiding you to a place where you do this for yourself, find it for yourself, because at the end of the day, there's no point me doing it for you, because then it's just useless, right? Then you're relying on me the whole time. That's like with hypnotherapists. I need someone to hypnotize me to go and be confident. It's like, well, then you're stuck on the hypnosis side and I need somebody to do something to me, to feel something. That's still a problem. You still haven't solved the problem there, right? So what we teach here is that we teach you the method. We teach you to do this. We teach you to teach to other people, right? This is something you can pay down the line. This is so powerful what we do here, what I do here, and it's just transformational. And the best thing is that it brings you home to you, the real version of you, real fulfillment, real true happiness, real true connections, relationships that you just can never, ever imagine you had. Peace, harmony, freedom, abundance, the whole lot just comes your way. And I think, Jay, I'm very, very proud of, taking the punt and going down this path, because, mate, what you're doing now, I'm extremely proud of what you're doing, because that just makes my job remarkably satisfying.
Oh, so it's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure.
I'm so proud of what you're doing.
I keep thanking you for, I always give you a call and say, Greg, this is what I'm doing. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, especially I'll be doing this. This will be my 50th episode on a chat with Jay, Remove the Mask, Write the Story, right? So I've done 50 episodes of talking to people about their stories. So I'm actually providing that safe space for them to talk. I'm randomly calling people on TikTok going, got a great story, coming to have a chat,
Yeah.
And then you got the cards, and now the book. I've got 2 books. I wrote a book back and forth. You're really invested in yourself. And everyone says, you are really invested in personal growth in yourself. I go, I wasn't like that. And it's bloody hard in this day and age.
Yeah.
I'll keep my political stuff to myself because that's another topic to come out.
Yeah.
Robin Hood effect.
Yeah.
Anyway, come and chat for the Robin Hood effect live on YouTube. So look, I think the best thing you can do is go to, come to Greg, be prepared to do the work. It won't happen overnight. It's taken me 5 years to get right to this point where I'm talking to Greg right now. Met some beautiful people along the way that I call close friends. I've only met them once or twice in person. They're all overseas. Through the groups that I've become a part of, we're very, very close friends. And it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, when you get that, when you do have that frequency and when you do step out of the norm, I guess the normal frequency, if you want to put it that way, the 9 to 5, I'll call it for use of a better word. And when I get contacted for what I do and I put a positive post up, like understanding the deep levels of trust, self-awareness, non-importance, all those universal laws and all that, and people come up and say, how you going? Right. You want to join our group. We know where you're going.
Yeah.
So it's a credit to myself. I'm going to credit myself, but
you should.
And it's just, mate, if you want to change, all I'll say to you guys, anything's a waste of money unless you have a crack at it. If you've got to go spend 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand and want the bloody lotto numbers, mate, you're kidding yourself. You've got to put the hard work in, just as I do up there, but you know what, the other thing is you got safe and someone to believe in, and this bloke gave me a chance, and mate, I'm so grateful for you for us meeting and giving me a chance in your course. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.